I want to talk about creativity today and how that connects to our vision and to me, which is love and heart, but really is a tool that can be super powerful towards any vision. So there are two kinds of creativity to begin with. There is the right hemisphere creativity and the left hemisphere creativity. AI can do one of them, but we are mainly going to talk about the other one, which is the right hemisphere type of creativity. And why it's the one that actually really matters the most. The left hemisphere creativity, it is about mixing things, matching stuff that already exists, and AI excels at that. We can see that. But they cannot, the left brain and AI can never come up with something entirely new that is, in a way, downloaded from another existence, like a higher reality or inner intelligence, one could say. In the right hemisphere creativity, it listens within, it needs full presence because it cannot channel if it's living in the present, or I mean, if it's living in the past or the future, which is the complete opposite of the left brain type of creativity. And it is spontaneous, and the outcome is unknown until it emerges. Sports, music, and all art forms, they include both. But the most compelling to watch is obviously where the practitioners are professionals and they therefore have mastered the left brain sort of knowledge and mastery, laying the groundwork of what to do for that art form or sport, so that they can let go of those. They don't have to be conscious and making conscious decisions about everything, so that they can leave their full presence to being in this creative sweet spot of where you actually, I would say, download and channel sort of in light speed what to do, what to act, what to create in each given moment of the activity. And that's what differentiates the absolute stars from the not stars in the area. Because the stars, they have mastered this, they have practiced so many hours and so many repetitions of the basics. So they, like I said, don't have to think about it anymore. It is in their nervous system. They know exactly how to, if you take hockey, for example, they know how to skate exactly, they know how to pass, how to shoot, and they even have many times ingrained their team strategy enough so that they can, be in the right hemisphere type of creativity, where the opponents can never guess, unless they too are in their sweet zone there that we're talking about. Because then they could magically guess with their right brains were to defend to that, for example. But otherwise, it is impossible to guess where this artist is going to go next. Even the artist doesn't know. So this whole conversation is going to be about how to access the right brain hemisphere on purpose, and therefore really understanding creativity at its depth, and not just the AI replaceable creativity. And then it will be about what to point your creativity towards, because I see, I guess 95 or 99% of artists, or no, I don't have the numbers, but
5-99% artist i ditt Apple Music-bibliotek. Du kan fråga efter en radiostation eller be med.
Siri, I don't care. Siri thought I was talking to her, but okay. Anyways, what was I saying? What were I saying? Yeah, a great majority of artists of any sort, like sports, art, music, they just do it for the purpose of doing it. And that's fine. I mean, but to me, I'm more of the other type of person. There are two ways, as I see it, where, and this is me guessing, taking a wild guess here, speculating, but as I see it now, is that in Buddhism, for example, there are two ways, and one of them is to reach enlightenment through clarity, and the other is through the clarity of love. Because there are different paths, I think, according to the Buddha, to enlightenment, and one of them, which is not the popular one, is love and purification of the heart. And through that you can reach enlightenment. But the more popular one is sort of through clarity. And you who know more on this than me, correct me in the comments. But my observation is that it seems like on the clarity side, there's a lot more focus on the pursuit of reaching clarity of like that nothing is real, sort of, and I've heard the term of cessation, where you even experience the loss of self. But that could probably, I mean, obviously these two paths, as I paint them to be, they are probably in reality one and the same at the end when you understand it fully. But yeah, my observation is that people who, and when I talk to some friends on this, love and that path requires that you really make a decision of adding that to your spiritual practice, which is kind of wild to me. But I see spirituality as the biggest vision that we can have, and we need to choose, because otherwise it is chosen by other people or society for you. So if you choose, if I'm to choose my biggest vision, my end goal, so to speak, it is love, it is family, you know. Because I can reach everything and it would not matter. I could reach some sort of clarity where I don't suffer, basically. I think the other path, I'm speculating now again, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's very based of ending suffering and being in some sort of clarity and peace and escaping this world. I get that, because this world can be really painful. But to me, I really choose the pain, if that includes the ups also, you know, love. Because, like I was beginning to say, we have so much dreams, so many dreams, and so many fun and exciting things that we can pursue here in life and explore, but in the end, you just want to be with those that you love. And you know why deep down. But when we are in our in other frequencies of the brain, I forget that, and that's why it's so important for me to, like I spoke of in another letter or video, that was the 4-5 element responsibility, whereas you have to choose, you have to be intentional with what you want to have good quality of in your life, in all elements, like health. You can't just outsource it to society if you want to reach above average results. Same with mental, air, and I didn't say physical, I see as earth. But air, mental, you need to learn how to think. You can't just outsource it to TV and school if you want to be happy or be wise. And on emotional water, you need to take your own responsibility there. You can't just outsource this to society and your family raising, oftentimes, unfortunately, because we don't know how to handle emotions. So you need to go that path your own. And the same is with spirituality, fire, where you can't just outsource your vision to the other. Basically, you do it automatically if you don't choose yourself. So you join a group thinking or a cult or society, you know, society common consensus thinking will be your vision, spirituality. But so choosing vision consciously is very important, I think. And obviously, a lot of people, and especially in Buddhism, I guess, but also like Christians, seek to escape this world. Their vision is to escape and escape pain. But my vision is to reach something. I mean, in comparison to escape. And, well, I don't know if I should rant on or babble on what my mission and visions are in life, but yeah, why not? I mean, love, I said, but also what includes in that is more of an action. It's like a praxis. It's both a vibrational practice that I need to do, just like you need to practice your health, thinking, and emotional mastery. So I need to practice that vibration, and for that Buddhist path of love is, and the Brahma Viharas to be more precise, is amazing. And because what it does is that it is no longer random, because we can all have random moments of popping into our hearts when we hold a baby, or we fall in love, or we think back on moments with our family, or some other heart-opening experiences that we randomly get. But taking responsibility, once again, is about making something consistent and on purpose, And my friend Ryan Burton from After Awakening, he taught me a few years ago he taught me the basics of how to cultivate through these methods. And it was quite amazing because I got to feel this love that otherwise had been random, and I could do it from my meditations daily. Well, it wasn't easy, though, and it isn't easy, and it needs practice. But yeah, so going back on practice here, and what we spoke about, creativity and the left and right brain, creativity. To master anything, and even mastering what I want to master now, like I say, the heart and love, is you need creativity, I would say, the essence of creativity to really master it. And the right, and I'm speaking about the right hemisphere, and that is why it is more important as a tool when it comes to creativity and mastering your visions. Because whereas the left brain comes in with a mixing and matching with things that is already done or said and realized, that is useful in the beginning only. When it comes to mastering, for example, love meditation here, and eventually spreading it to all of your life, which is the vision. And then I didn't even say the practice part of the praxis. I could put a parenthesis here and just adding it quickly with that it is about spreading it to all of your actions and movements and everything, and creating from it. But whatever. In the beginning, the left brain is awesome because we learn from the past and from what others teach. So we can mix and match from what has worked for other people. And there the practice comes in, and the teachings from, for example, my friend, where he teaches what has worked for him and what he learned also from the past, from the Buddha even, where it's like very structural how to enter your heart. It's like how to get into this vibration, really. And it is about just basically, you have a target, you have an object, a person that is easy to love to begin with for beginners, and you see that person and its essence of like beauty or vulnerability or kindness, and then you hold that and you wish love for it. And it's in the beginning, it's very structural, and there's lines that you are encouraged to say, like, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live at ease, and similar. And you do that enough, and the idea is to put you into a state where you actually feel it, and you not just think about how to do it. In other words, how you can leave your left brain there. Or leave the left brain, or the left brain can leave that to your nervous system, because you have practiced enough so that you just do it. And what happened when I did this was that I noticed when I like to see it as this metaphor of a spaceship or a rocket. You need all of this power, this mental left brain power and effort and discipline to lift. But then we lift and you start to get a sense of actually experience this what you're seeking through the practice. Then you need to in order to not just fall down again, you need to let go of the capsule, if it's called that, on the rocket ship, so that you can keep rising and staying there and staying in air. And in order for that to happen in meditation, plainly, you cannot think like you used to, because that, how I see it, is that the left brain is taking it again, taking control again, and that is exactly when you just experientially, I noticed that is when you fall again, and everyone can testify to that who has meditated, because we get so amazed of like, oh, this is a new experience, and then we start to think, and then it's gone. So what is needed is a lot of practice. You need to become a star, an artist star in this, in order to keep that. So, what happens, I think, there is that the left brain creativity takes over, basically. Because I noticed that I still need to be alert, And a quick example to make it easier to understand is that, for example, in hockey, then, if you are with a puck and your left brain starts to take over again, you start to think and second guess, where am I going now again? And it's too late, and someone comes and hits you or take the puck. But a star knows that you cannot. It is too late if you need to think about that during the moment. So, and the right hemisphere needs to be in control, and it makes you be alert. And like I said earlier, the star, it's very unpredictable where he's going. And the same is in meditation. You cannot know. You cannot have a plan anymore. You can only have a vision. And in hockey, it is to score. And in meditation and love, it is, or love meditation, I should say. The vision is love and the vibration of love. Jag spelar in en video, men vad? Okej, tack. So for example, there my mom interrupted me, and I still have a lot of reps to do in order to not let my left brain, need to take control there and take me away from my vision of full heart space there. But yeah, the right hemisphere guides you in the present moment. It is free from past and future, but it holds the vision of the, one could say, future. But when you are in the present moment, really, it is the only way, or I don't have the perfect explanation right now. I had it before when I brainstormed this, but there is a connection with being at this front line of existence, being in this tip of present. And it is very connected with timelessness and already being there, you know, being there with your vision. I mean, that's what people speak about when manifesting and visualizing, that you need to feel that you're already there, and that is what you do when you are in the right brain, I would say, hemisphere creativity. So, for me, when I have had my longest states of this being at one with this vision and but at the same time in the practice of it, in the meditation, I really felt like this rocket ship, and I noticed that when my left brain wanted to come in, because it was sort of, or well, where it usually came in, and at that point it didn't. It was because I, for one, had done the practice enough, but for two, I was aware of this sort of creative, right brain creativity state of where you don't invite, and you don't, it is not appropriate, or it is not tempting at all to, or well, it is, but it's hard to explain, but you can get into that. You know what I'm talking about if you've ever felt like you're in a creative, really creative, like that state of maybe sports or creating, where you just create from your inside, or a mix from the inside and outside and your surrounding and your and the divine of some sort, much like I said in my video of confidence, where I see it as just, it's pretty similar to this, but, and I took also the example of sports there, but yeah, so I guess this is connected very much to confidence, where I can see my life as a creativity and sport, and especially being with other people was what I talked about. And how I know that I will say something that I want to say, even though I don't plan what to say. And that was something I haven't spoken about too yet. That is big to me when I realized what intuition is for me. Because before, or at the point of realizing it, I realized that I have been in pain for most of my life due to thinking that everything that I need to do and say even is already determined or already said somewhere. It is written in a book, the best way of saying something somewhere, or is some indication. And that was so freeing to realize that, oh my God. Okay, that was just that was just wrong. And then the other week after that, I realized that there's so much bliss in. It was so amazing to just, okay, I have another source that I can listen to. Something that takes me to the tip of presence. And it magically makes me do the right decision somehow. And all of this is kind of tied also, I should mention, to Drunvalo Melchizedek, because he was with me around that intuition experience back in the days, in like 2012, when I read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life and Living in the Heart, where he also talked about this, when I first heard about this different kinds of creativities. And at that point, I felt that I'm so in the present here, like in the tip of presence of the future, even because he spoke about sacred geometry and this Fibonacci spiral that is in everything, and the magical pattern that is built upon entirely that you take the total of what you have right now and you add it to the total of what you had the previous step of your growing. Yeah, I don't want to go into that right now, but I maybe will later. Why it matters. But just, yeah, maybe I can say it now. Maybe it was about, when I brainstormed this, that the connection with the left brain, the logic brain of learning from the past, that is the past that you add with the present. And therefore you magically and very naturally, organically grow the most you can. So creativity at its best does that. It builds upon the foundation so that you can put it into your subconscious and be fully present with channeling the right brain creativity and unexpected directions of perfection, and have the audiences, if it's art or sport, marvel at the creations, and even yourself by like appreciating it. So I wanna, like I said, I wanted to mention also, or emphasize a little bit, that you can aim it anywhere. This is a tool. Creativity to me is a tool, just like the knife and nuclear power. It can be used for really powerful and arguably good stuff, but also for terrible stuff. And my point is that probably a psychopath can feel really creative and use this for that. And it depends on your vision. So I guess this is also this state I'm talking about, this sort of star state, is probably also flow that Mihai talks about, where he has interviewed a lot of happy people and where they are the happiest. Probably ticks the boxes. But depending on the vision and art form that you choose, it can be different. Oh, so this is a good one too. It's a puzzle piece for me, because I have been for the longest time, or not longest, but pretty long now, I have been clear on that I am not a board game type of person. It is too slow to me. But I think I know why now. On the depth level, on a deeper level. Because I've said that I'd much rather play ping pong, air hockey, table hockey, even much rather play tag, hide and seek, things where the key is here, things where my right brain creativity, which I love dearly, and intuition and that stuff can come to expression and be needed. Whereas board game and chess, that is very dominated by the left brain, because it's all about knowledge and planning. And it makes me go insane. And it even interrupts the flow if there were to be one, right? I think, because you need to wait for the other people. But that's just me, I guess. I guess the least worst of board games would be if you get into a state of that you really know all the basics of it and you can just play it. But the worst nightmare of it is when you're in a community of people where the thing is to learn new board games all the time. Or if it's an endless learning game. But yeah, because the key to creativity, to full unleashed creativity, to reach your vision, which I think creativity is all about, or have a vision and try to reach it and enjoy the zone, the journey there through it, is to learn the basics of the left brain and then as much as possible opening up to the right brain. And that creativity, I think I've gone over that enough now. Oh, this is also important. It needs to be said that in order to master any art or creativity like this, you cannot blame yourself if you, for example, in meditation, lose focus, or in any art, need to go back and learn again with your left brain. Because it is just like meditation is per definition to constantly go back to your focus or vision or object or intention. And that is the whole thing, because reality of being a human and trying to master all what it is to be that, with all the emotions and the thinking and the physical and all that stuff, spiritual. It takes time, and it takes the learning process. Actually, believe it or not, being a human is an art form. So what it looks like for me with my vision of getting into the heart space as much as I can and have it fully permeate my whole existence, actually, that will look like me being determined in baby steps. Someone is burning and something. I should wrap this up also. It's a good sign because I need to eat, but to me, that me trying to master that is that I have the big vision, the big intention, and a humble, genuine growth attitude of it's time to bring in the famous quote that I have used so many times lately. That is I will butcher it a little bit, but it's the greatness isn't to never fall, it is to rise again after every fall. That is what meditation and any mastering process is to me. And why not bring in Michael Jordan again? Because why he got his success, he said, is because he failed more times than everyone else tried. That is the key for anything. And yeah. So it's gonna be a back and forth with the left and the right brain in the creativity mastery journey towards any vision of yours, what you want to use the tool for. And actually, when it comes to my vision, it is, to me, it is included to, it is very important to include all of my body and my human experience through it, so that I don't miss being holistic, but more precisely, for example, fall into the trap of trying to neglect life and just have some sort of too narrow for me vision of something that I even not care about my emotion and just try to meditate them away or something. So therefore I have an alchemy process also that I'm working on to sort of decode, because it's working for me to always, with my personal development, go forward when I get stuck anywhere with my feelings or thinking. But it's not done yet, but I'm working on that. But when I realized, when I brainstormed this topic, was that it is really not separated at all from my vision. But it's obviously, because my vision is so broad, but to me it wasn't obvious at first. I was thinking that maybe this is just emotional alchemy. But hey, when I look at what I do and what we do in this process, love is very present there, but with, for example, the full presence with yourself and the person, and the compassion, and the action and the wish for feeling better. So yeah. But once again, it's very important, on the other hand, on the most important hand, or, well, what I'm saying, I'm getting hungry here. On the flip side, I feel that it's very naked, sort of scientific, barren, if I would to not have my vision, and it's because it's very popular and common to just divide the human being into parts and have us viewed as like a car. We do that a lot in Western hospitals, and where we don't see the connection between the foot and the head, basically, or something. Well, or the organs and that stuff. It's getting there slowly, but I hope. But there are a lot of schools for, psychology and treating. Basically, I see probably the contrast from me having my consciously chosen vision of my life and mission to where I didn't. And we can just go around in circles and try to cure this and that, and it is it is all for love, but like in the end, I think, but people are not aware of it, and I think it is easy to, somewhere in the processes of trying to cure this and this and this part of you and of people and society, you can get lost maybe in the reason for doing it, and maybe unconsciously start to follow some or work for some other vision that other people have that is pretty hidden maybe, but I don't know. For example, it happens all the time, I guess, with crowds and societies where people are told what is threatening and what is bad and evil, and then therefore what is good, and people start to just act as a group towards something, and they don't know really what that's leading to in the end, but they would all argue that they thought that it was good. So I guess I'm just being a little bit philosophical here, but what I'm saying is that it's really important when you're using your creativity, the powerful tool of it. I would say it's very mature to see where you're aiming it and what it has for consequences also. And even dig deeper on what those consequences compared to other consequences are. Because it's really easy to hear one good reason for something, like, well, just take politics. It's very easy to fall into a camp that if the first you hear or the most compelling you hear, you stay there forever. Or the one that you're most afraid of, the negative outcome of from not pursuing your ideology, like it's not a commonly agreed upon thing what is the most threatening in our society. For sure, it is. Some people think the most threatening thing is the environment changes. Some think it's right-wing movements, and some think it's left-wing movements, and some think it's immigrants, and some think it's men, and some think it's feminists, meat eaters or vegans, or it's very easy to get polarized. My thing is that we need to at least get clear on what's behind that. It is probably we all can unite on, I don't want a world where people suffer, let's try and discuss and agree upon what is causing the most suffering, and let's see if we cannot eliminate all of it. But in order to do that, we need to be open and see first that we are not against each other. And these people who had opposite opinions, they want the same thing, but they are thinking differently. So put all the perspectives on the table, please. But I need to go and eat now. So